September 19th already. 9:19, and I don't know if you noticed at 19 minutes and 19 seconds after 9, it was a repeat. So I don't know if those numbers mean anything, but they're fun to watch. So we'll take him to get rid of that, then he can start. And Tony, I have asked him
All right, I'm going to have to call you right back. This call knocked me off.
Okay, doke. You're not off, but he's going to come right back in. He'll tell you, Tony, but he said that Warren will not be working with Hillary. She will be taking orders directly from Soros.
I'm back.
Yep, you're back.
I hate that, folks, when people call during the program, but I'm here. Are we ready for me to go, Mary Ellen?
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
Well, before I deal with Tony's question, I've got a question. How many people are here, Mary Ellen?
15.
All right. Well, I got to ask a question of y'all. If I was in a theatrical production, which I assure you has never been something I've done, nobody's ever asked me to be in one, to be honest.
Well, you've done the videos.
Well, I'm talking about a play.
Okay.
You know, that type of thing, a play. And if my part that I was to play in this play was that I was to be an Arabian Night, so therefore they dressed me up in the costume of an Arabian and then used that round face stuff to make me look Arabian. Tell me why that would make me a racist and have to apologize to everybody. Mary Ellen, why would I have to do that? I mean, what did I do wrong doing that?
That's play acting. So,
so Trudeau got caught playing an Arabian Night in a high school theatrical production. Now I got another one for you. Jeff Chandler, I just saw him for a minute on a Western, an old Western, 50s and 60s Western. And he was playing Cochise or somebody like that. And they painted his face red, with redder skin, so he looked like an Indian. Is he not guilty of the same thing Trudeau is? I'm asking. Now, if I walk around and put blackface on my face and panhandle, acting like I'm a black homeless person, yeah, that I can see. Or if I put on blackface or red face or pink face or blue face and acted like I was trying to protest something stupid or whatever, I could see that. But tell me why we've gone over this cliff that if you're acting and have a part that requires you to color your skin to fit the part, why is that racism? Why do you have to stand up like Trudeau is right now and apologize to the whole damn world for what he did? Have we gone that far? Have we gone? Now, he's apologizing. The big news is he wore a brown face in a theatrical production when he was in high school in a play. And there's a doctor in Illinois or Indiana, wherever, Illinois, that's got 22,000 or 2,200 fetal corpses in his basement and has been arrested. And they're not talking about that.
Yeah, that's the doctor. That's the doctor in South Bend, Indiana, with 2246.
Yeah.
Like 100, Larry.
Then you've got a thing today where a Muslim, a mohair, was rigging a plane to crash. A plane that carried 150 people on board. Now they've addressed it. Yes, they have. They have addressed it. Slightly. But now that's Fox has addressed it slightly. But if you go to MSNBC or CNN, do you know what's on their program? Guess what? It's not Trudeau apologizing, or it wasn't, it may be now. I just quickly scanned to MSNBC and CNN, and it wasn't on either one of those. His press conference, Fox is covering. And then I covering the guy that was going to blow up the plane and kill 150 people plus crew. You know what they're covering? They're covering the fact that there was a whistleblower from the intelligence community that supposedly tried to blow the whistle, so to speak, on something that nobody knows what the hell it is. Adam Schiff holds a press conference. They don't know what it's about, but they're claiming that Trump ordered it not to be given to the Intelligence Committee of Congress, the committees of Congress. Now, guys, let me tell you, were I in the business today of doing what I used to do, one of the cellar boys. The cellar boy is one of the guys that when they had what y'all call black ops jobs, the Intelligence Committee or the, whichever relevant committee would have a special group that would go downstairs, what we call the cellar, and that's where you would be given an assignment. And it was strictly QT, buddy. Nobody knew about it. Nobody knew what you were doing. The orders were simple. You did what you were told, and if you got caught, this government would say you didn't exist. This government would disclaim you. I mean, you really went at your own risk, and you knew the risk. But you did it, supposedly, for God and country. If I were in that business today, do you think I would take one project from the cellar? No. You know why? Because in today's Congress, today's government, given an order like that, I would not clear the Capitol building until the media would be told about it by somebody. Somebody. Matter of fact, in Nicaragua, my latter days in Nicaragua, some of my last operations there. Supposed to be hush-hush, right?
Yeah.
But everyone I went on there at the last, I was getting shot at by somebody. And I didn't know if it was a CIA or NID or NID or I didn't know who it was necessarily shooting at me, but nobody was even supposed to know I was there. It's one of the reasons I quit. You can't trust this government. So now, if by virtue of the fact that this was an intelligence person working in the Office of Intelligence, and if it had something to do with, and I'm saying if it even had anything to do with intelligence information, if I were the president, I would seal it from Congress until more could be clarified. Because if it goes to Adam Schiff's committee, are you kidding me? The minute it goes into the committee, as soon as the meeting and hearing is over, Adam Schiff be in front of a microphone telling the world and everybody what it was about. And it might be that intelligence person's information he was trying to get to a superior authorities above his superior. It might be that had sources, methods, names of people, certainly things that might lead to the exposure of agents or people in the field. So no, I wouldn't let it out either. And I certainly would not let this Congress have a damn thing if it could be considered top secret or secret. No way. No way can you trust this Congress. Not now. Not today. But you can bet they're going to ride this puppy. Once again, another thing to destroy Trump's chances in the presidential election of 2020. And I believe, based off what I have seen as a pattern coming from Adam Schiff, Nadler, and the crew. What I believe is that within 24 to 48 hours, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, we're going to find out it was all bogus. It was all bogus. I'm not saying the person wasn't trying to get something to people above his superior, but as it relates to President Trump, I doubt it's going to have anything to do with Russia. I doubt it's going to have anything to do with him talking supposedly to some foreign leader, saying something that he can't say legally. Oh, by the way, this will shock you. The President of the United States can talk to any foreign leader that he chooses to talk to, and he can say anything he wants to say to him. It's not illegal. He's the president. It's within his purview. He can and does talk to foreign leaders, and he tells them stuff that, guess what? We, the people, are not supposed to hear, and guess what? He tells them things that he doesn't want our Congress to hear because of the adversarial role Congress plays with him today. You see, President Trump is keenly aware, folks, keenly aware that he's acting in our interest, the interest of the United States of America. That is his interest. That's his priority. That's what he's doing. But he also knows that the Democrats will destroy America simply to get him, so that they can complete their task of taking over our government. What a sick world we live in, and what a sick government we have. And I do hope to God that if I'm right, now not about this, but if I'm right in my projections that if President Trump loses, so too will we lose the Senate, because I can't imagine people voting to throw Trump out and then voting to keep a Republican in the Senate. They'll kick out the Republicans and put Democrats in the Senate, and then they'll have the presidency, the House, and the Senate. But using that strategy, that hypothesis, I hope I'm right that if he wins, and after all of these worthless shenanigans conducted by the House, that people throw them out in massive numbers, throw out Democrats in massive numbers. And guys, I'll tell you this from me, I don't like that. I really don't like it when we have a government where one of our parties, either party, controls all three branches. I don't like all three, the House, the Senate, and the presidency. I don't like that. Normally, we are safer if whoever is president, that party, at least has one of the houses of Congress that they don't control. That way you have some internal checks and balances. But today's world, we can't have that. In the old days, you needed that just for balance, just for security. But in the old days, we didn't have this post-Clinton era takeover of our nation. We didn't have that then. Even if they were of a different party than the president, they were still firmly supportive of the United States of America, number one. But not today. Not today. Now, Marilyn, Tony's question.
Yeah. Let me scroll up a second. I'll get up here. We've got quite a few questions coming in. Can you shed more light on Elizabeth Warren getting the nomination over Biden and Clinton offering a deal? Is that true?
All right. Number one, although the Progressive Council, as I am told by sources that I trust very well, has decided to back off of Biden, they have not chosen Elizabeth Warren yet. They have not chosen their person that's going to win yet. But I do not believe, Tony, that there will be a deal from Hillary with Elizabeth Warren. I mean, there might be some minor thing, but Hillary has no power now in the Democratic Party. She has no power. All she has is money through the foundation that is dwindling every day. It's getting weaker every day. So do not look for Hillary to have the stroke or the power to be able to control Elizabeth Warren and make Warren say her puppet. That ain't going to happen. What you better fear is reality. And the reality is Elizabeth Warren's going to be George Soros's puppet. And I would take Hillary being the puppet master of Warren should she be elected president more than I would George Soros. So there. What else you got, Mary Ellen? You said you got several.
Yeah, Terry asks, what do you think about truth versus facts or truth over facts?
Well, if you understand facts as they are portrayed in Washington, D.C., in the real world, facts simply justify the truth normally. That's what used to happen. That's what used to be taught in school. That's the way it used to be. It's not that way now. And especially in Washington, D.C. So facts mean nothing to me, really, depending on where the facts are assimilated, where they come from. So often what we hear are facts or numbers or whatever that come from deep state or parts of the government that have just figured angles to trick the numbers to make them come out the way they want them to come out. There's only one thing that I believe in today. One. Truth. Truth. So, Terry, it's truth over facts 100% now. Truth over facts. The problem, they can give you facts right away. Truth oftentimes takes time to come out. But never, any of you, if you are trying to do the right thing or make a right decision, never believe facts to equate to truth, because they don't anymore. What else?
What do you think about the National Security Advisor, the new one?
As I said yesterday, I don't know him. I know nothing about him. I am going to do what I told y'all yesterday. We have seen President Trump be given from his people that do his counseling to help him get his list shortened down, make their recommendations. We have seen them fail President Trump quite often. But this decision is President Trump's and President Trump's alone. And based off what I have seen President Trump do since taking office, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to believe in him. Now, if he's made a great choice, great. If he's made a bad choice, it's going to be that way. It'll come out. It'll be fixed, I'm sure, if there's time. But at this point, I know nothing of the person he has chosen. So I have to rely on President Trump and hope he did his due diligence beyond that of looking at his committee that gave him his choices. What you got, Miriam?
What do you think about McCabe and Comey being indicted?
McCabe will be indicted, and so will Comey. Subject to, except for one thing. If McCabe is not indicted, Comey will not be indicted, and we will have lost everything. I have warned y'all over and over and over. The thing you must look at is Andrew McCabe. If William Barr does not indict or impanel grand jury against McCabe, then all is lost. He's a deep state committed person and it's over. We'll have no way to access him in time.
But again, like we discussed earlier this week, the fact that 92% of the jury pool is Democrat and liberal, at least
I know.
panels the grand jury, we can hope something will happen. But if they don't recommend indictment, can he indict anyway?
Yes.
Oh, good.
But remember also, 92% are deep state people in the grand jury pool. The percentage, I'm told, in the jury pool that would have purview in this case is worse than 92%. How many of you see what I see that's good news about the 92%? How many of you see that as good news? I'll wait for your answers.
Well, the hope that the public sees what's going on.
No. Sorry. No.
I'm not seeing anything. I'm just seeing more questions.
Okay. I'm just asking, does anybody see something good about releasing the stats on the grand jury pool bias? Does anybody? Send your answer in. I'll wait until we hear more. We're not just going to put the pressure on Mary Ellen. Does anybody? What else? What other question you got for the time being while we're waiting?
Pam asked, could they ask for a change of venue for the McCabe and Comey trials?
Yes, but they have to have grounds, Pam.
Well,
remember, they've got to go to a deep state judge to request that judge to give a change of venue. Now, the good news is when they ask that judge for a change of venue and it is denied, then Barr can appeal that. And eventually, I think he can even fast track that decision to the Supreme Court. However you're going to say, Mary Ellen?
Is that part of, how we get around this 92% being good by saying that we can't get a fair trial because it's rigged?
You get the turkey. You win the turkey. That's the good news, which I figure is part of the reason why Barr has gone to the extent of making that number known. By polling the grand jury pool, and I'm certainly polled the jury pool as such, that could be grounds to ask for a change of venue immediately upon indictment. There's no way in that kind of court could Barr possibly get a fair ruling. No way. Good job, Mary Ellen. That was and Pam, because you kind of have figured it out, right?
Pam danced around it, and that gave me yeah. And Jeff is saying, I thought they were going to be tried in military tribunals, not a jury. Here we go again with Q.
Yeah, that's some of that stuff Q and those kind of people are putting out. Don't you believe that? Don't you believe that?
Okay, I'm going to answer this one for you. Neil asks, is it true that Bill Clinton is badly sick, besides being mentally sick? The National Enquirer this week or next week is coming out with an article on Bill's health that Larry has been interviewed for. So be watching just for that, and you'll see what Larry has to say about it.
Now, I will say this in regard to that, Mary Ellen. Should Bill Clinton die, probably 60 to 80% of Hillary's power will die with the man. So think about that. I'm not wishing it on Bill Clinton. I'm not wishing him to die. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that she will lose a major portion of her power when he dies, because then the foundation will be, it's already struggling and dying off every day, but it will be gone. What else you got?
Richard suggests, Dan Bongino said, whenever you hear anything regarding the president, impeachment, and so on, wait 24 to 72 hours before answering anything because the truth will come out later.
I would agree with that man 100%. That is probably one of the smartest things anybody in television or radio or wherever could counsel any of you.
And then he
this is based off of their track record. Yeah. And then he asks what?
He adds that President Trump raised $15 million in California in the last couple of days compared to Kamala Harris, $12 million countrywide. Let's see.
As a matter of fact, Kamala Harris in California has dropped to 5th place in her own state. Now, I heard it said yesterday on one of the Fox programs, I do not know which one, but I think it was Dana Perino. She was saying that Kamala Harris was on a roll. She roasted Biden in that first debate, but then her words were, she for some reason, she's like taking her foot off the gas. Let me tell you why she took her foot off the gas. It was because of that other lady that was the pilot that you don't hear about anymore. What was her name? I can't remember her name, but she was the one that attacked Kamala Harris in like the second debate. And that shut Harris up because Harris knows she cannot get in to an aggressive debate if somebody looks into her past record as prosecutor in California or in her private life. She got the bejesus scared out of her by that other presidential lady.
Was that Tulsi Gabbard, maybe?
Yes, Gabbard, yes.
Okay. What about Hillary meeting with Pocahontas, telling her Hillary's saying she'll guarantee Elizabeth the presidency if she follows Hillary's instructions? There are several. Larry, there are several people mentioning this on YouTube today.
Let me tell you, if one, Pocahontas, believes that, she's a fool. Why would you go to a woman that has lost the presidency twice, both times she should have won? Why would you go to that person and believe her if she told you, if you do what I say, I guarantee you'll win? Think about it. And I'm just going to tell you about Elizabeth Warren in my book, why I don't think she would be a good candidate. She looks like the old teacher all of us had in school that we hated, the old nag, the old mean teacher that everybody hated. That's what she looks like and acts like. To me, that's my opinion. That's all it is, my opinion. What's next?
Okay, what do you think about?
By the way, I don't want to sound discriminating against old teachers from my day and maybe y'all's. I'm not discriminating against them, but we all know when we were in school, there was some teacher that everybody in the school literally couldn't stand. One of ours was Miss Rhodey. We called it, anybody that's in her class was called Miss Rhodey's Little Toadies. Sorry about that. Just thought you want to know.
Okay, James asks, what do you think about the idea that Biden has Alzheimer's? He has lost family members, thinks he recognizes it.
You know, I don't know. I can't believe it, guys, but I heard Jimmy by God Carter, say something for the first time that I can remember that I agreed with. Jimmy Carter. And he made an actual relevant statement. He said, and I'm paraphrasing some of it, but basically he said, if he had been 80 when he was president, he didn't think he could have dealt with the job. because you have to be able to be so mentally sharp that you have to be able to deal with so many issues all at once. And you know, he said he couldn't do it. He could not do it. And I think we face that same reality with Biden, whether he has early stage Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever, it matters not. He's already displayed that he has some problems with concentration. And it could just be age. My God, Mary Ellen, how many times do I tell you in the course of a day? God, I can't believe I can't remember, right? I mean, that's me, and I'm 69. No, I don't know. I don't know if he has the early development of those kind of diseases or if it's just age finally just getting him. Not to mention the facts, guys. I've known Joe Biden, I guess, since I was a pup, running around with Fulbright and Mills. And he wasn't the sharpest tool in the box then. I mean, that man has never been one of the brainiest people in Washington, D.C. He's been a smooth actor. He's been a real good politician. But intellect, I wouldn't give him high marks in his prime. Go ahead. What you got?
Do you think Hillary and Obama will be tried and convicted for treason? Asked Gerald.
Well, Gerald, that's a tough one. I believe, my opinion, this is my opinion. Before this is said and done, if Barr is straight and he goes through with the proper indictments, and based off what Durham has got in his hands, the evidence I know he possesses, the worst thing that we come out with, I'm talking about us, the worst we come out with is going to be that the whole country knows that they participated in a big way, instrumental way, to this coup. I think that was Jan Bryan or John Bryan. Thank you, please. Thank you for your help on PayPal. Thank you so much. I didn't mean to say last name. Is it John or Jan? I couldn't see that quick before it went off. But everybody's going to know of their roles in this coup. They are. And to some of us, we are going to know that their participation in the coups is tantamount to treason. To the other half of the country, they're at least just going to know they were behind it. Do I think they will be tried? No. Not for treason. Certainly not Obama. Hillary, she'll be tried. She'll be prosecuted. If Barr's real, she'll be prosecuted. But I can't swear it'll be on treason. It'll be on something else. But you just must know that treason against Obama is going to be kind of difficult to do, because the deeds that he did that we know to be treasonous were done when he was president, and so therefore it cannot be considered legally treasonous because he was president. That may confuse y'all, but there is a letter of the law that splits hairs right there, and I'm telling you the truth. What else, Mary Ellen?
Richard says Elizabeth Warren compares Medicare for all to the public school system, which is broke, so we will receive subpar health care. And Goodman thinks Hillary's going to run in 2020 after the Democrats implode. What do you think? Oops.
I'm going to have to call you back. I got another call. Shut us down.
Winter,
I'm on my show.
You're still here.
Off there.
No, you're still with us, Larry.
Hello.
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay, well, how did I do that? That was
I
my
don't know.
wife calling, and I got knocked off. Shows I'm talking to her. Let me hang up and call you back.
Just okay. There he goes. Winter, you're saying it's going to take all of us to pay attention to what's going on and expose what we see and hear to fight for the truth? Absolutely. And like he said, even if the whole country realizes that that we had a coup, these people participated in, we're the ones that are going to know that that was a bad thing, because the media will spin it that it was a good thing, and they spin everything. So that's it's the propaganda arm of the deep state. So James, Larry has said over and over again that Hillary has lost her good standing with the Democratic Party. They are angry with her for losing in 2016, blame her for the loss, and they're not going to give her another chance. Larry's pretty adamant about that.
And I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're back.
My wife didn't call me. Her phone butt dialed me, but I thought there was an emergency. So when she called, I was afraid she had gotten bad news about me. So anyway, I'm back.
You've always
got to. I left on.
I answered the question about Hillary running again.
She's not going to run. That's
Okay.
my opinion, guys. So I could be wrong. Remember, when I say my opinion is just my opinion, and I could be wrong. But in that case with Hillary, I kind of doubt it. She is so hated for what she's done to the Democratic Party. They should be in office. We should be a socialist country right now. And the fact that we are not, the fact that they're having to deal with this guy Trump, they blame 100% on her. And should. What you got, Miriam?
Thank you, James. He went on Tucker's Facebook page and sent a message to everybody else. There were 5 different people listed, and he sent messages to them for Tucker to invite Larry. James also.
Well, the reason, James, I want to go on Tucker Carlson is if you go on with Hannity, you don't get to talk. Hannity does all the talking. And it's sometimes about the same with Laura Ingraham. You've got to do everything in 3-minute little sound bites, which is bad enough. But then when they talk on top of it, you don't even have a minute. Tucker's the one that seems to allow more conversation. And nobody is talking as adamantly about socialism as we are. And so I want to go on and tell the people what y'all know about socialism, about what this election means in no uncertain terms. But I need your help to get him to agree to have me on. So please, any of you and all of you, James, if you'll tell people how you did it, how you can get in touch with him and request, don't be ugly, just request that he have me on to talk about socialism. You might remind him who I am. He knows. I dealt with him back during the Clinton era stuff. Anyway, what's next, Miriam?
Okay, James says, I've been hearing Hillary has Kuru disease. What do you know about this?
Don't know anything. She has what disease?
Kuru, which is a disease that comes from eating human flesh.
Oh, I don't know about that. If there's a disease that comes from a steady diet of just absolute meanness pills, I'm sure she's got it, but I don't know about that other.
Okay, Neil asks, what's up with Alex Jones?
Don't know. I don't get to talk to Alex anymore much. Mainly because I haven't been on the show. I guess I'm not important to him anymore, which has been partly my fault. But I don't know. Can't say. I like Alex. I've always liked Alex. But some of the guests and some of the extremes that he brings forward, I can't participate with.
Michelle says it appears Pence has been replaced by a double. Do you know anything about that?
No, don't know anything about that. That sounds like too much Q or somebody on the internet. I don't believe that. Let me say it that way, and I don't mean to be ugly, but you have to understand at that level, for some reason, if Pence were not there and they were having to use a double, the world would know about it. My God, y'all, the world would know about anything Trump's administration does. Anything. So when you hear stuff like that, just know that's not possible. Not possible. I mean, it's not really not possible that it happened, but it is guaranteed 1,000,000% not possible that we wouldn't know about it. MSNBC and CNN would be all over it like white on rice.
And that's the same thing with the Ruth Bader Ginsburg double that people keep talking about.
Right. So that's still going on. That wasn't her. It was a double.
Yeah. Okay. Pam asked, do you think not allowing Tulsi Gabbard to go forward, do you think that was strategically planned to block her from advancing?
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
she was the sleeper, and the DNC and the progressives knew it. She was the sleeper. She's level-headed, reasonably attractive, and smart. They had to bump her down. She was never going to make it to the final cut with the debates.
why?
Because what I just told you, she was level-headed, smart, reasonably good-looking.
So less controllable?
Well, I don't believe, my opinion again, excuse me, but my opinion, I don't believe a person actively serving in the military, having served a tour in Iraq or Afghanistan, whichever, I don't believe that person or that kind of person would be that readily willing to participate in destroying our nation. I just can't believe that. And that's why she must not be allowed to go forward. Even if they don't know if she would be willing to do what they demand or not, the fact that they just can't trust her to absolutely participate in destroying our nation and making us a socialist country, the fact that they can't trust her, that means she can't go.
That's too bad. I mean, good for Trump, but should Trump's Secretary of Education push for charter schools considering the state of education today?
Well, I guess, yes, she should, or he should, whoever's Secretary of Education. But to be honest, President Trump needs to push for turning all education over to state and local and get it the hell out of Washington. Now, that's not going to be a simple transition, so he can't take his pen and write a special order or whatever, you know, shutting down the Department of Education. But it's a process that must get started, and he is going to start it. It's going to start if he gets reelected. But we've got to get education out of Washington, D.C. That is the nucleus. That's the genesis of social engineering for our young.
Yeah, James considers Tulsi the only one with a chance against Trump.
That's right.
And Richard said she was a threat and the DNC got rid of her.
That's very true. Very true.
Right, that's the last comment. No more questions.
Okay.
We have 60 people.
All right. Well, once again, I would recommend and suggest spreading the word of the program. We need to be growing. And, guys, again, I'm probably not very entertaining, but you're getting more facts, truth. I hate to even say that now after that question earlier. You're getting closer to the truth with the things we talk about here than most other places that you go. You can feel safe that also I'm not a aggregator, because most of you know I can't turn on a computer, don't know how to find nothing on it, so I don't read other people's things. I see very little news on TV. I see little pieces of it, but I don't get to see much whole programming. And when I do get to see much news, whole programming, I'm constantly having to watch MSNBC and CNN, and Fox gets a portion of the time, but not all of it. So I'm not an aggregator. I don't do that. I don't think that serves you guys well. I hope you appreciate that. I hope. Maybe you don't, but I hope you do.
I hope so too. I've heard a lot of people, James, saying that people are not getting notifications, and Larry Rindy even said that she knew what time to come looking for the show, and she couldn't find it. It was being blocked from her being able to even find it. So I do know that's happening. She was able to find it later. I've had a little bit of trouble with that myself, with other people.
Well, this is another one of those cases where I don't even know about that. I don't know what you mean, can't find the program.
Well, somebody's looking to Larry Nichols' official channel. They may be able to find Larry Nichols' official channel, but cannot find the fact that we're live right now. They're just, YouTube is creating an issue.
Well, but like Rindy, she knows we're live and she knows what time we're live. Are you saying she couldn't find the program even though she was coming to where she always goes? I'm just asking.
Yes, that's what she said. And that's happened to me with somebody. It hasn't happened with this program for me because I'm controlling it, but it has happened to me with other programs that I know are regular.
Well, it's going to get more complicated as we go on towards the election, trust me. And I believe a lot of when we're just talking or all of a sudden I'm gone, sometimes, and I'm just guessing, I have no proof of this, sometimes it's so timely connected to the subject matter that I'm talking about that it makes me wonder if they're not just knocking me off because of what we're talking about.
Well, and that's why I don't say, I title it Live with Larry Nichols until after it's over, and then I will say something about what we discussed.
And that's another thing y'all need to know. Some of the things that I'm able to tell y'all come from impeccable sources. Can't get any more impeccable than the ones I peck with. If that's how you say that stuff, I don't know. But anyway, so there would be cause on some issues that I'm telling or things I'm saying that would cause the bad guys to want to shut me up. Truly. Look,
Well,
there's a world of information, y'all, that they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know.
Just look at the fact, Larry, that you started talking about the coup in July of 2016. You knew immediately that it was going on right away when it started, and you started talking about it right away. They didn't want anybody knowing, and unfortunately, you know, we didn't have a wide enough audience for people to be able to raise a stink about it. So
well,
go ahead.
The coup, for y'all's information, should be for the world's information. The coup is going on today.
Yeah.
That soft crew has not relented at all. They have stepped it up. And what's scary to me, and this is to me, what scares me is the fact that they're so obvious about it now. They're so committed that they're out front with it, and that's dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Yeah, I'm hearing, for example, Geraldo Rivera talking about we have had a coup as if it were over.
Right. Well, they all talk that way. Hannity, all of them, they all talk that way, and that's not true.
Right. Do you know anything about why Fukushima issues are being ignored while the Pacific Ocean is being poisoned?
I know some of the stuff that's out there about it, but nothing directly, nothing. I probably know less than y'all do about it. That's outside of my area of, that I deal in. It's just outside of, I'm not saying it's any less important. I'm just saying it's outside of my areas.
Okay, here's a good question that's pertinent to the election. What are the toss-up states that Trump has to win? In other words, I would, Tony, that what you're asking is, where do we need to concentrate our efforts to help?
Well, let me take the second thing you said first. Regardless of where he's trying to concentrate, all of you must concentrate in your area with the people you know and talk to. That's your area of interest, the people you know and talk to. Remember, in and around you, I bet in all of you have around you people that are reasonably for Trump, but they would fall into the soft base category. You must engage with those people. You must do the best you can to keep them informed of the things we talk about here. That's why I choose the things to talk about that I do, because they are, unless I say my opinion, they are extremely provable. They will come to pass. They will. Now, as far as the things, what states he's concentrating on, I can't tell you that. I don't want any part of his campaign strategy that way in that area. The technicians he has and the data that he has dictates to him what states maybe he didn't get last time, but he's got a shot at this time. He has a picture of the whole electoral college chart that I don't have. So he knows which states are must states electorally, electoral college wise. Those are things I don't know. So I'm sorry if I let you down, but I don't know those things because that's not what I deal with. I do deal with the campaign in some ways, but that's not one of them.
Well, as close as Wisconsin was, they're going to be gunning to take it back. And they're certainly trying to get people to move to Texas to turn that blue. But I understand there's quite an effort to flip Colorado back to red. But
and I couldn't tell you. There is there should be very little confusion this election in any state, and I know there is, and I know half of the country is not going to hear us. But any state that tries to flip blue is basically going against the United States of America in this election. Any state going blue is going socialist. And there are some states that are already there, like California, Illinois, etc. New York. I mean, there's some states that are full tilt socialist states. But it's all about, this election is going to be about whichever candidate can be successful at winning the Electoral College. And all I see at this point, I've seen one Elizabeth Warren rally where she had a goodly number of people. But you've got to remember, when you see a Democrat having a good crowd, like Elizabeth Warren or any of them, except Bernie Sanders, when you see any of the Democrats have a good crowd, Biden or somebody like that, usually it's arranged by deals. For example, with Bill Clinton in Arkansas, they would go around and give all state employees a half a day off with pay, believe it or not, a whole day in some cases, if they attended his campaign rally. So they've got that weapon that they use. They give, make deals for schools so the kids get credit for going to the rally. They don't do that with Trump, but they do it with the Democrats. Now, President Trump, his rallies are dictated, the number of people that come to those is strictly dictated by the number of seats allowed by the fire department in the arenas. There's hardly ever, I guess there's been an event of late that I know of that there were far more people wanting to get in than were able to get in.
Oh, that New Mexico crowd outside was huge.
Mm-hmm. And I will tell you this, President Trump is going to do what no other president in recent times has done. He's going to shoe leather. He's going to be a shoe gummer, meaning he's going to all these states. He's going to hold these rallies in as many states as frequently as he can. He's going to work to get elected. He's going to work to win these states. And you see, that fouls up the Democrats. The Democrats play a national strategy. They play a flyover strategy. The Democrats for president always want a flyover strategy. They want to go over and win California because of the population. They want to win New York because of the population. Pick up Illinois and a couple of others because of the population. And to hell with the rest of the country. To hell with it. They're not going. They're not going to go. Well, Trump's broken them that way. Now, it's going to be interesting to see whether they have the ability to go state to state to state. I mean, they can obviously go state to state to state, but can they draw a crowd? I doubt if they came to Arkansas. If Elizabeth Warren came to Arkansas or Joe Biden, I doubt he could draw 1,000 people or her either one. Maybe 2,000. Now, there might be more than that vote for them come election time, but they're not going to draw that big of a crowd here. And I would bet it's the same way in Louisiana. I would bet it's the same way in Mississippi. And I'm sure it's that way in many, many states. They're not going to be able to draw a crowd. And the worst thing they can do on earth is have an event when nobody comes. Now, you're not seeing it necessarily right now because there's not a defined winner, but once the Democrat wins, whichever one it's going to be, it will be interesting to see whether they can mount a state-to-state campaign to match that of President Trump, because they at least know this time their flyover strategy will not work.
Well, just like with Hillary, having to get big name pops to come, and so there people come for the concert, and then they claim, "Oh, look, they came for Hillary."
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. I forgot to mention that, but that's exactly right. They have to get famous artists to draw crowds. Trump don't.
Yep.
Now, they do have one thing better than the Republicans. They've got a better ground game. Now, they have had in recent past. Maybe Trump has done something about that this time. I hope he has. But in working with Chad Purda in Texas and seeing what the Republican Party there is doing in Texas, it doesn't look like they've improved their ground game much at all. Now, I'm not saying every state's that way, but they just don't have the get out, go door to door people. And the reason they don't, I guess, is sort of self-explanatory. The Democrats count on the millennial younger base of support, right? So young people are more prone to get out and walk the neighborhood block and register people to vote and ask people to vote for their candidate than people 65 years old are able to do. So we're about out of time. Anything else, Mary Ellen?
What about ballot harvesting? California made it legal, and so they stole 7 seats in 2018 with ballot harvesting.
They're going to do it again. Hopefully, Sarah Huckabee or Sanders, hopefully her and her team are going to be able to address that.
Yeah.
Let me say this before I go, folks. I don't want to ask you this, but I got to. Please help today. Please. That's all I'm going to say. Please help. I'm pretty down and getting downer, so please help. With that, Mary Ellen, I'm going to leave it to you. You all have a good day until tomorrow. Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for being here, Larry. Bye. All right. I'm going to answer one more question. Will the coup cabal be held responsible, and can we trust Barr? Larry has addressed that many times this week, and Desert Marcos, if you will listen to the beginning of the show, that was one of the first questions. If Barr does anything with McCabe, we know he's good people. If he lets McCabe off the hook, no. There was a question earlier today about changing the venue, and the fact that more than 92% of the jury pool for a grand jury to be impaneled for McCabe, more than 92% is deep state folks. Will give Barr reason to ask for a change of venue, and a deep state judge is of course going to say no, but it can be appealed, and they are looking into whether they can appeal it to the Supreme Court to get a change of venue, because as you know, Trump has put some good people in place in different parts of the country. So if we can change the venue, it'll help. So that being said, thank you for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. We have a conference call right now starting. I need to run and get the phone to do that. That number is listed under the video here, but it's 712-451-0725. That's 712-451-0725. The access code is 492-215#. It's listed under the video. It's listed under all the videos. So thanks a lot for being here. God bless you, and we'll talk tomorrow. Please remember Larry's PayPal is Nichols, no first name, nicholslive@aol.com. You can hear by his voice, he's really hurting today and needs to get his treatment. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time. And the website, nicholslive.com, has links to Larry's book, Larry's video, Larry's CD, the t-shirt, the Never Socialism t-shirt, bumper stickers, and so on, and ideas on how to donate. John, I haven't checked the mail today, but as of yesterday, they had not arrived yet, and I'm going to go out and check as soon as the conference call's over. So with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you. See you. Talk to you tomorrow.